Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another teacher interview. Today, we're lucky enough to have Ilya Reyzin with us. Thanks for joining us today, Ilya.
Hey, Jonathan.
All right, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to ask you the same question we always start with. For you in your career, in your pursuit of dance, what was the most challenging moment or the most challenging thing that you had to overcome in your journey?
I think the hardest thing for me was to keep the level of intensity in my practice and my improvement throughout the different outcomes of the events I was competing in. So, when you start, you work really hard and you achieve your goal and you keep working harder because you want to be better, and usually the results are complementing it. And the hardest thing was when results don't complement it, to keep pushing through, to keep pushing that negative outcome, to keep pushing this negativity and keep working on it, knowing that eventually it will pay off. Keep pressing, keep working, keep taking lessons, keep getting up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning and practicing, and keep your mind in the betterment of yourself and not getting discouraged. I think that was by far the hardest thing. And I think it was hardest thing for me in my whole dancing career. And I dance, I'm 40 years old. I started when I was 6. So it's 34 years of dancing, I had 21 partners in my years of dancing. So throughout all of that, I think that was always the hardest thing to overcome.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What if you had some advice to give on not necessarily, I know I wanted to ask you another question, but just on that again, how did you overcome those obstacles? Do you have any tips on that?
Well, when I was younger, I didn't. So when I was younger, that's usually when I would say, well, it doesn't work with this partner, and so I'm just going to switch partners. And in the reality, I think that longevity in this sport, in this art form, longevity works the best. The longer you are with somebody, the more you act as a unit, the more you create your own personal style, the more you move as a unit, the more you aware of each other's good things and bad things. So therefore, the more you adapt, the more you complement each other. So I think the goal is to try to understand why, and hopefully you have a group of people in your court, your core value, strength, people who you trust, and whose goal is not to push their agenda on you, but rather to push you and guide you in the direction that will benefit you. So hopefully you have that, and then you turn to those group of people who will tell you, I think that this is what's missing, so you can concentrate on the certain degrees of things that don't work or that maybe is holding you back.
Yeah, nice. That was great. I think that's very valuable advice. And you really did kind of encompass the second question that I had for you there, which is, what advice would you give to those who are currently pursuing a career in dance? But is there but if I still want to ask you that, if you have something specific you want to add to that. So again, I'll rephrase the question again. What advice would you give to someone who's currently pursuing specifically a career in ballroom dancing?
So I'm gonna tell you the kind of the feeling I had literally this morning. I was working with a new professional couple, and they're not new dancers, they're just new couple. They just started dancing together recently, and truly just outstanding. Really looks amazing. A very, very exciting new partnership. And what I was thinking while I was working with them is that they're gonna go really far unless they're gonna lose their sense of self, their own fire, their own personality, their own drive, their own thing. You know what I mean? Like I want everybody kind of to be aware. you can work on the technicality until you turn blue. It will never be perfect. It will be better, but it will never be that whole amazing thing that, I am invincible kind of thing. Because there's no ceiling here. You can always improve. But with that being said, don't lose yourself. Don't lose the reason why you dance. Don't lose the enjoyment. Don't lose the fire. Don't lose your style. Don't lose your personality, because that's what makes you different from everybody else on that floor. There's 50 couples against you, and those 50 couples work with 15 people. And if all of those 50 couples going to look like those 15 people, then you all look the same. And I want to be able to look at you and know that this is amazing because it's different. It's your own personal interpretation of it. Shouldn't be killed. You shouldn't lose that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I see when I judge or when I work with people, is that they start with something that was special and become to something that is maybe clean but is usual.
Very, very interesting, and very I'm just, as you're saying it, looking back, on my days of dancing, and I can relate totally. I mean, to having those issues, not being able to keep enjoying it, just because I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Versus like in the earlier days of dance where you just moved because kind of you wanted to.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a fantastic.
Like it's kind of like this: ignorance is a bliss, but while you're gonna learn how to dance, you should really keep some ignorance in it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And keep it,
because that makes it blissful.
yes. Keep it fresh, keep it, changing, new, surprising. Don't
Right.
try to
And keep
control
it
every little
yours.
bit.
And keep it yours, because nobody is gonna do it better than you, because it's you. Like if you're gonna just repeat that somebody else are doing, you'll never be able to be as good as them because you're repeating them.
Absolutely. You can't be a better Michael Jackson than Michael Jackson is.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I really, there's a few coaches in Europe who will not, show you, because
Right. They just force you
they
to
don't want you
learn
to
it on
repeat
your
it.
own.
They're just gonna tell you. They will, like, listen, the idea here is this, 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 and this. Now make it yours.
Right.
So don't
Here's what
necessarily.
you need to make the math or all
Exactly.
the physics work.
Right.
Now figure out how to make
Right.
that work so that you
Right.
don't try to do other
So
things.
you don't just copy.
Yeah, right. Get distracted by that. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this was super helpful, Ilya. As always, great information to share with others. We appreciate you coming and joining us today.
My pleasure, man. Anytime. Good to see
All
you.
right. You too, my man. I'm sure we'll see you soon. It's been too long. This whole COVID thing has thrown a
Oh
wrench
yeah,
into.
it's a crazy time for sure.
We'll get through. Well, thanks
Yep.
again. And thank you to everybody who joined us today. We'll see you next time. And when you get a chance, check us out. You can see more videos and more instructor interviews at perfectpartner.us.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Adios, Ilya.
All right, bye.
Bye. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's teacher interview. For more information on ballroom dancing or to learn more about how to improve your dancing, go to perfectpartner.us.